In a quiet valley long ago, 3 hard-working brothers lived humble lives, yet their hearts were restless. They had food to eat, a roof over their heads, and the gift of each new day, but happiness always felt just out of reach. One simple act of kindness would soon change everything, leading them on a journey to discover a truth most people spend their entire lives searching for. Welcome to Wisdom Realm Channel, the story of 3 hard-working brothers. Once upon a time, deep in a quiet valley surrounded by whispering pines, there stood a humble cottage. Inside that small wooden home lived 3 brothers, Samuel, Timothy, and Xander. Every morning, before the first rays of sunlight kissed the earth, they would venture into the forest with their axes on their shoulders. Please, if you're enjoying this story, please kindly subscribe for more. God bless you as you do. Let's continue. Their life was simple. Cut wood, carry it to the market, and sell it for a decent price. It was enough to keep food on the table and a roof over their heads. Each of the brothers felt a deep emptiness inside. Samuel often sighed, longing for a grand mansion that would make him feel important. Timothy dreamed of owning vast farmland so he would never worry about money again. And Xander believed happiness could only come from the love of a beautiful wife. Though they worked hard and lived an honest life, their hearts were heavy. They were surrounded by blessings, but all they could see were the things they did not have. One chilly evening, as the brothers made their way home with heavy bundles of wood on their backs, they saw something unusual at the edge of the forest path. An old woman, frail and bent, struggled to carry a large sack. Her steps were slow and shaky, and her face was lined with years of hardship. The old woman gave them a tired smile and explained that the sack was filled with apples she had gathered from the forest. One by one, the brothers took turns lifting the heavy load onto their backs and walked alongside her, step by step, all the way to her little home. By the time they arrived, they were exhausted. Their shoulders ached and their legs trembled, but the old woman's gratitude warmed their hearts. Little did they know this woman was no ordinary soul. She possessed ancient magic, the kind that revealed itself only to those with pure hearts. As the brothers prepared to leave, the old woman stopped them. Her eyes twinkled like stars as she spoke. "You 3 have shown kindness without expecting anything in return. Such hearts deserve a gift. I wish for a large farm with abundant harvests, so I never have to worry about money." And finally, Xander smiled shyly. "I wish for a beautiful wife who would make my life bright and joyful." The old woman listened carefully and nodded. "If these are what you believe will make you happy, then so be it," she said. "Go home. What you have wished for shall be waiting." The brothers exchanged puzzled glances. Surely this was just the rambling of an old woman. Yet they thanked her and began their walk home. As they approached their familiar cottage, the brothers stopped in their tracks. Their eyes widened and their hearts skipped a beat. Beside their small home now stood a magnificent mansion, grand and beautiful, with a doorman waiting at the gate. Samuel's dream had come true. His enthusiasm faded and his land yielded less and less each season. The 3 brothers, who had once been overjoyed by their dreams come true, were now unhappy again. Their lives, though filled with all they had ever wanted, felt empty. One evening, the brothers gathered by the old fireplace of their cottage. Silence hung in the air until Samuel spoke. "Brothers," he sighed, "I do not understand. We received everything we asked for, yet I feel emptier now than I did before." Timothy nodded. "I feel the same. I thought wealth would make me happy, but it has not. And I believed love alone would be enough," Xander whispered, "but I still feel incomplete." The brothers realized there was only one person who might have the answer, the old woman who had granted their wishes. She was sitting by a bubbling pot of stew, humming softly to herself. The brothers bowed respectfully. "Wise one," Samuel began, "you granted us everything we asked for, but happiness has slipped from our hands once again. Please tell us, what is the secret of happiness?" The old woman stirred her stew thoughtfully and then turned to face them. Her eyes, though old, held the light of deep wisdom. "My sons," she said softly, "the problem is not in the gifts you receive. The problem lies in your hearts. Happiness cannot stay where contentment does not exist." The brothers looked at her in confusion. She continued, "When your wishes were granted, you were happy, but only for a time. Soon, your hearts began to crave more. You stopped appreciating what you had and you let your blessings become burdens." She reached into a basket and pulled out 3 apples, the same apples she had gathered that day they helped her. "Look at these apples," she said. "Without gratitude and contentment, even the sweetest gift will lose its flavor." The brothers lowered their heads, realizing the truth in her words. "Happiness is not something you chase," she explained gently. "It is something you nurture. It grows not from having everything, but from cherishing what you already have." With hearts filled with newfound understanding, Samuel, Timothy, and Xander returned home. Samuel walked through the halls of his mansion, seeing it with new eyes. He no longer saw a burden, but a blessing. He began caring for it with joy, guiding his servants and filling each room with warmth and laughter. Timothy stepped into his fields with gratitude. Each seed he planted felt like a promise, and each harvest, no matter how small, was a gift. He worked diligently and found peace in the rhythm of the land. Xander looked at his wife, not as someone who owed him happiness, but as a partner in his journey. He cherished her laughter, her kindness, and her unwavering support. Their bond grew deeper than ever before. Slowly but surely joy returned to their lives, but this time it was different. It was steady, lasting, and real, born not from their possessions, but from their hearts. Years passed, and the 3 brothers continued to live in their little valley by the woods. They still had their mansion, their farm, and their family, but now they also had something far greater. They had discovered the secret of happiness. It wasn't about having more. It wasn't about chasing new dreams or endless desires. The secret was contentment, the ability to appreciate what they had, no matter how small or grand. Samuel learned that a mansion is not a home without gratitude. Timothy learned that wealth is empty without appreciation. Happiness is not a treasure hidden at the end of a long road. It's not something you find after getting everything you want. It's here, right now, in the small things. The morning sun, a shared laugh, a meal with someone you love. If you are always waiting for something more before you allow yourself to be happy, happiness will always stay just out of reach. But if you learn to pause, breathe, and give thanks for what is already in your hands, you'll find that happiness has been with you all along. Samuel, Timothy, and Xander finally understood that, and so can we. And that, dear listener, is the secret of happiness. Let me know what is on your mind. Comment below. Please don't forget to subscribe for more content like this.